So hey guys, yes, welcome back to my channel. I know you all heard about it, the Oprah and Meghan Markle and Harry interview. That interview was really unexpected. When she said this is the right time, I guess it was the right time for her since they gave up the royalty. And as someone who's coming from the countries that were colonized by Britain, yes, I'm from Uganda and we're colonized by Britain, so definitely I had something to say. Like, I'm definitely gonna put my 2 cents in this. But with all that, like, really what stuck out with me, like the fact that they took away their passports, their IDs. So it's like, it's not palace, it's like you're in prison. Like, it's like they don't trust them enough to keep their own passports and ID on them. They treat them like their children, like they're just gonna run away the next day, like any opportunity they get. Like, you don't treat a grown-up like that. It's like when you're in a palace, you have no identity. You don't have your own passport. It's like you're trapped, you're a kid, they tell you jump and you just have to say how high. Like, that's not a way to live. And
a story about Meghan making Kate cry, one of many Meghan says was untrue.
Was there a situation where she might have cried or she could have cried?
No, the reverse happened.
The fact that they took her phone, and when all the media were giving her a backlash and all that, she could not even write on Twitter or Facebook or anything to defend herself. Like, that's the definition of trap. Like, they take away all your gadgets and then they attack you and you can't even defend yourself. Like, I really feel for her because that's a lot. Now I understand why she was suicidal, because that's a lot.
In a devastating interview, a visibly pregnant Duchess of Sussex told Oprah Winfrey her royal life in London left her suicidal.
I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And that was a very clear and real, frightening, constant thought.
She told them she wanted to kill herself and they did not even care. Like, what the F? Who does that? Like, how mean can people be? We understand you want to preserve your old culture or whatever, but when someone wants to kill themselves and they're pregnant and you still do nothing, wow. You can't get medical help for your mental suicidal state. Just imagine being pregnant and being suicidal. Like, oh my goodness, they didn't care. Like, imagine your own family, you're carrying their great grandkid and they just don't care how you feel. That's crazy though. I'm really glad they left. I'm glad they left. And when they told her we only need you to be 50% of yourself, you can't speak for yourself, you can't ask, you can't question, you just have to follow. So it's like feminism out the window. Like, oh my goodness. And she said the fact that they're telling her you have to walk this way, you don't have to close your own doors when you get out of the car. Like, oh my god, it's mind-blowing. Like, it feels terrifying to even live it. You know, it's different when you hear it, but when you leave it, that's a whole different experience. And the fact that she even wanted to go out with her friends and they told her, nah, you're being exposed, you're too much. And she had stayed in the house for 4 months and she had only gone out for 2 days in those 4 months and they still did not let her go out. It feels like you're in prison and it's like they dictate what you do. Like, you have no life, like you belong to them. That's how it feels like. It feels like you're really trapped. As Harry said, you are trapped. Like, they needed to get out. That interview was great, and you can see the pain in their eyes and their voices. So I'm just glad they actually left. They left all that, you know what I mean? Because people will be like, why would you leave all the money and all the glam? But sometimes you don't have to sell your soul, you know what I mean? You just don't have to. It's not worth it. I don't know who it's gonna take to sit on that royal seat to change all this, because this is something that has been ongoing and they don't look like they're willing to change. And the funny part is, after all this, the Queen had to put a statement. She had to put a statement that all the recollections may vary, but it will be addressed privately. It gets to show you, like, she did not really condemn racism. She just said these matters should be they should be addressed like within the family, which gets to show you like they really have a long way to go. Like, how can you not even stand up for your great grandson? You know what I mean? And instead of worrying about Archie's skin, it doesn't really matter if he's dark, it doesn't really matter. Like, that's their part of their family, so they should worry about Philip. Like, have you guys taken a look at Philip recently? He's holding on to this. He doesn't want to leave, you know what I mean? He's not about to die. And this Queen has been, how old is the Queen? 94? I don't think these people are gonna die anytime soon. Like, they're holding on. Like, the Queen is like, there's no way, Charles, you're not sitting on this seat. Like, she doesn't want to give up the seat. And I don't know. And it definitely, it's not gonna be Charles to change that seed, like, oh, what's going on. I don't think it's gonna be Charles to do that, because he disowned his own son. Like, he did not even stand up for him. Like, what kind of dad does that? It's crazy how some parents really choose like power over their own kids. It's like how Meghan's dad worked with the reporters to spread all the lies they're talking about her in the British newspapers or whatever. But it's crazy how some people would rather choose fame, money over their own kids. Like, these things go, like, it just beats my mind. Like, I'm not really surprised. Like, how are they able to sleep at night? You know what I mean? Anyway, we're different, so it's wild. You know what I mean? Thanks to Diana, I feel like Princess Diana knew all this was gonna run down, because she kept some money for Harry. And I feel like, if, as Harry said, if Diana did not really keep money, I don't know where they would be by this time. He said it himself. If his mom did not keep money, he doesn't know what. But I'm sure they'll be fine. I mean, he's the prince, so definitely anyone would want to work with him, magazines and all that, so he would survive. But still, like, they cut him off just because of that. It's crazy. So I just want to know, are they gonna destroy the monarch, like the Commonwealth? Because a lot of countries depend on the Commonwealth. What do you guys think about this interview? Because it really blew my mind. Like, I was not surprised by the fact, personally, I was not surprised by the fact that they would make those kind of comments about Archie's skin or whatever. But I guess the fact that we expected more from the palace, like we expected them to know better and not to make such comments, especially in these times. Like, things have really progressed. We're not back in those days, like slavery. We're not back in the slavery days and all that. So I guess that's what really pushed people. Like, people could not believe that they could still think that way. Like, what would you expect from a nation that built its system on colonialism? Like, these people, they go way back, so we don't really expect their mentality to reason. So when they had that conversation, as Meghan said, they had a conversation with her and Harry about Archie's skin. I mean, look at Meghan, she can pass as white. Like, imagine if she was black, like if she was African like us. It's crazy. But are we surprised? No, I don't think. I guess it was hard for us to accept that racism would actually come from a royal palace at this current age, because a lot has evolved. So I guess people were really shocked when they heard that they had a conversation about the skin, and knowing how sensitive that topic is, it should not even be talked about. Like, Archie is part of their family, so regardless if he's 5% black, like, he's still part of their family. So like, that gets to show you how old-fashioned or how their reasoning is. Like, they're not accepting. And the fact that Meghan was going through she was mentally depressed. She going to them and asking them for help and they turning her down, that gets to show you, like, they really have a long way to go, because they try to keep this image like you can't be vulnerable. Like, I guess to them, they think being vulnerable or going through that is something that it's nothing to be proud of. And the fact that the Queen called Harry, and Harry flew all the way to Birmingham to meet her, and then she turned her down, saying she's busy, she's booked. I mean, you call him in the first place. The Queen does whatever she wants to do. As Oprah said, doesn't the Queen do whatever she wants to do? Like, the Queen can cancel meetings for a whole month if she wanted to. So her saying she was busy that day and busy for the rest of the week, that gets to show you, like, I guess he had really given up on his grandson. You know what I mean? And it's really, I guess I'm happy for Harry. You know what I mean? The fact that Tyler Perry gave them commodity and housing after all that. I know Harry has a lot of billionaire connections, like, everywhere. So the fact that they did not even open arms for him when he left the royal palace, that gets to show you some people really like you for your status. No, you cannot tell me that he does not have friends who have mansions. Like, they're the richest family on this planet. Like, you can't tell me there's no way they don't have connections, people who could give them housing. But in all people, it had to be Tyler Perry. Anyway, guys, just let me know what you think in the comments. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the red button below, and hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm going to be doing a lot of commentaries because I have a lot to say. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. And yeah, so see you in my next video. Peace out.